side, then one of the most valuable products in there is the will, trust, power of attorney. And again, I think people put this off. I know I did. And you know you should, but you don't really spend the time around it to maybe feel like as bad. Like when you get in this company, for me, once I started to become really aware of the will, trust, power of attorney, and especially the trust and the power of attorneys, because the will, you know more about it, you hear more about it, but I felt kind of bad. Like once I was in the company, I was like, geez, I can't believe I didn't have this sooner. I mean, I have young kids, but whether you have young kids, because that's one thing, having young kids, and you want to make sure if something were to happen to you, your kid's going to be well taken care of. But even if you have older kids and you have assets and property, and the last thing you'd want your kids to do is to fight over things, and to realize it's almost like you feel bad because you're being irresponsible. Like I was being irresponsible. There's no other way to call it. And now to know that I have completed my will, completed my trust, have my powers of attorney set up. My wife does, my mom does. All of us, we didn't have those things. And there are people, again, they sign up as agents and maybe they haven't paid attention to it at all, or maybe they're gonna get to it and they're not taking it seriously, which is not right. We have a saying, expect the best and plan for the worst. You just never know. And really, it's a sense of irresponsibility.
And I think, too, part of it is, for some people, there's a sense of also intimidation. You know, like you think about a will, trust, power of attorney, and it's something that we don't want to think about. Like I remember my mom, when she turned like 70 years old, she told me she was putting her will together. Now, you would think that I would be thinking, you're just doing that now? But that's not what I thought. I'm like, well, are you not feeling good? like what's the problem? Why are you thinking so negatively? And now I look back and I think about how irresponsible thinking that was. And then the same thing for me. It's like, you know, having a will, trust, power of attorney, we had it set up, but quite frankly, the only reason why my family had it set up is because I've got a wife who was responsible enough to set it up. And so I think it's intimidating for people. And it's not as bad as you think. It's not like once you start doing it, you just go in there and you start typing stuff in there, just get it started, and you'll start to realize that it's not as complicated as you might think. And then once you do it, you feel so good about the fact that it's done because you know you're supposed to do it, but you're putting it off. So in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, I know I'm supposed to do this, but I'm still not doing it. So once you do it, you have that sense of accomplishment and that little bit of a peace of mind that you get by just setting up, or at least getting it started. Get it started. And then you can always go in and make changes.
Exactly, and those are great to I think people are intimidated also because maybe they don't understand it. And that's the other thing about the Protection Plan membership. The company has gone to so many heights to provide resources, meaning that when you go to the website, when you go to FESProtectionPlan.com, you read the information, it's just loaded with great knowledgeable information. That's how I learned about so many of the things, was to read what is an executor, what specifically is a power of attorney, what is a trust, why would you want to trust, all of it's in there. And as you mentioned, when you go in and you log in and you start filling out each section of your will and your trust, your power of attorney, it walks you through it step by step, and then you can save the information and then come back to it. But it's still something everybody should do in relatively short order. So when you're a new agent, it shouldn't be something you're doing a year from now. It's something you should do within your first 30 days. Get it done so you have that peace of mind, so that you are doing the right thing for yourself and your family. And I just think the will, trust, power of attorney within the Protection Plan is so needed. And the other thing is, things change in people's lives. So to know that everything's being saved electronically, and that you can go back, and it's not like an extra fee or an extra cost to update things, or to change maybe who is going to be your executor, or maybe you added a property, or maybe somebody had another child, and to know that you're not paying like if you went to an attorney. I know for a fact, a will, a trust, power of attorney, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, and making updates, you know, paying another $500 and $1,000 here or there. So to know that we've got something that you're paying such a nominal fee, and at the same time getting such great value.
And you just have to have it anyway. It's not like you just, well, I choose not to. Like, you have to have that. You're completely irresponsible. So just get it done and get it over with.
Absolutely. And then, of course, in the Protection Plan membership, automatically identity theft protection. Having LifeLock, the premier identity theft provider, that's great that it just is set up. I think, of course, that makes it the easiest thing of all the services because it just comes automatically. And to know that we have that in there, and it's insurance. It's insurance to say if we know somebody's watching over us, so to speak, in terms of our identity, but if by chance our identity was compromised, that LifeLock is going to step in and do everything in their powers to rectify it. So that's a nice just peace of mind. I love it at whatever I'm doing sometimes, changing an account, opening an account, doing some things, when I get a text, when I'll get the phone call to know, okay, this really is working for me.
Because I believe nowadays it's not a matter of if someone's going to go after identity, it's really just a matter of when. Like you think about every 3 seconds right now an identity is stolen. It's just a matter of time. So again, yeah, that's just a huge added benefit. And another reason why you always want to stay on the protection plan, because if you're not on the protection plan, you don't have LifeLock. So that's something that everyone, and I really believe that it's just a matter of time before every single person is going to have it. Like, in other words, as soon as they're issued a Social Security, and this is just my belief, but as soon as they're issued a Social Security card, it's going to come with some type of LifeLock, because it's going to be so blatantly obvious to everybody that if they don't have it, their identity is going to get stolen. So think about, having the foresight that this company has to incorporate that into our protection plan is awesome.
Yeah, and we know the horror stories. Yep. Of people, and they'll just continue to happen more and more and more. We know a lot of big companies, Fortune 100 companies, 500 companies that have breaches and things like that. So having that is powerful. And then, of course, as you have Debt Zero, and I think this is another amazing service that I think people probably don't utilize as much as they should. You think about how many people have mortgages, how many people have car notes, how many people have credit card debt, and maybe a whole slew of other debts. And here's a service that you literally can be assisted in paying them off faster, more effectively, more efficiently. How much money could that save you? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take that long. All you got to do is pull together your bills, pull together your liabilities, and put it in there, and put a plan together. I think it's obvious, and a lot of us have probably heard, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's this. If you fail to have a plan about paying off your debt, you're going to end up paying more interest. You're going to end up paying just a higher amount of money, wasting a lot of time, energy. Statistically, like 30 cents of every dollar that people earn goes to debt, and then you have taxes after that and so forth. It's like, we got a service that helps to eliminate it, and it'd be silly not to use it. So I know that's another valuable tool within the protection plan.
Well, it's huge. And if you ask people outside of people who use a program like Debt Zero, first of all, most people do have debt, and if you ask them when they plan on getting out of debt, no one knows. Like, most people don't even think about when they're going to get out of debt. They're not thinking it's ever even going to happen. Maybe some of you watching this video may be thinking, how am I ever going to get out of debt? Well, you're not going to know how you're going to get out of debt, when you'll be out of debt, until you put your liabilities, your assets, your debts in Debt Zero. That'll give you a time of when you can do it. And that's another product that'll give you peace of mind once you do it. Because there's just something about going, wow, okay, I'm not going to be in debt forever. All I've got to do is X, Y, and Z, and I'll be debt free.
That rhymes. That was good. And you run
Write that down.
Exactly. And you run your get out of debt report. And you know what? It's a confidence builder. It's to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And that's a great service. And then we've got Financial Lockbox. I think that's a really neat service, because I think a lot of people, they don't even really think about this. And I think so many people who have lost somebody and had a crisis or a traumatic situation, and all of a sudden we're left to have to try to locate documents and information and bank accounts and a slew of other things, and nobody knows where any of it is. Yeah. I mean, the amount of loss that happens, what is it, like 30% of all life insurance policies never claim some crazy number like that, and millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars of stocks, bonds, and 401ks, and just all that stuff
go unclaimed. Yeah,
unclaimed. So here we've got a service. It's so simple. The tabs are right there, all spelled out. You pop a tab, and you type in, where is this? Where is your will, trust, power of attorney? Where is your bank accounts? Where is the car keys? Where is the properties that you have? Who are your financial advisors? Who is your tax professional? And to have it all organized and to know that electronically a death certificate is always being tracked electronically, and to know that when and it's back to that whole expect the best, plan for the worst. When that time comes, whenever it is, to know that whoever's supposed to get that information will get it. It's hard enough to lose somebody. Then on top of that, now I'm rummaging through your belongings. I'm searching ththrough stuff. The stories are just unbelievable.
It's endless.
Endless stories of people that literally, it happened to me. I have my own story. When I was 21 years old, my dad, a young man of 55, passed away. Obviously wasn't anticipating that to happen. And my mom and my older brother literally spent years rummaging through papers and couldn't find things. And he was an accountant. He had clients asking for things. And it was a mess. It was a mess. And I think of something like this, so simple to do. So simple to do. Just take the time, put all your information into your lockbox, and just know you got the peace of mind. It's a done deal. It's just a great service.
And you can't just think that you can put it in a filing cabinet somewhere, because what if there's a fire? I mean, anything can happen. You know, I've never had that personal story really happen with me, but I do real quick remember calling a good friend of mine when his dad had just passed. It was a couple months afterwards. I'm like, what are you doing? He says, I'm going down to the storage units. He's got 3 storage units. He's like, honestly, we have no idea what he had. He had kind of like been separated from his dad for a while. They weren't really communicating, so they had to rummage through all kinds of stuff. And he was like, I'm just so regretting it. And I think about if that particular person had something like financial lockbox, there could have been an email that went out that said, hey, look, the 3rd locker over, maybe the box in the back has all my pertinent information, what have you. But instead they had to go through everything. And I know that wasn't something he was excited about doing. So.
And I think a great point you made was the security of it. Water damage, fire damage, it gets lost because some people may write things down.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, so to know it's there, it's organized, it's secure, it's safe.